Hi, it's Jen from Shabby Fabrics. I have the Ruby Star Society face mask panel by Moda, and I wanted to show you how cute these masks are. We know we're all in the middle of this pandemic and we have to wear masks pretty much every time we're flying, every time I'm in a grocery store, really any place where a lot of people are coming together. So let's make the most of it by being able to wear some fun masks, and Shabby Fabrics has gone ahead and manufactured some incredible, beautiful elastic in South Korea, and I've chosen some pastel colors. They're a beautiful set of 8 of those. The neutrals, we know that that's very popular right now as well. And of course, our kids love these bright and cheerful colors. You're going to be seeing these in more masks. And I kind of think, you know, if I'm going to wear a mask and I have to wear a mask, I'm going to make it as comfortable and fun to wear as I can. So whether we like wearing them or not, or agree with that or not, we just know that's part of our world right now. It's not going to be forever, but it's our normal right now. So looking at the Ruby Star Society face mask panel, there's 2 different styles, and I'm going to show you an option. I'm changing it up from what is included on the top of the panel. You'll have your instructions here. I'm going to show you a simpler approach, and it uses less elastic. So I know that this very important elastic, it's special. We want to be able to economize that so that we can get our masks done and be able to make more for friends and family, and even to donate with using as little of the elastic as we can, because it's an expense, right? So in your panel, I'll try to show this to you so you see it's a full yard. You get a lot of these. You have this style, which is shown here, and then on the other side we have the kind of that rectangle, and you can cut those down to be for adults or for kids. And as I mentioned, the instructions on the top of the panel are, I'll show you what the one makes, how the instructions will guide you through. They have you make kind of a casing here and have a long loop of elastic going through the casing with a knot that you then rotate and turn inside. You can of course follow those instructions, but I have a way again that I think is a little bit quicker and uses less elastic. So let's jump right into that, and then we'll go into the smaller, more rectangle masks, and let's get started. I've pre-cut some of my panel just to save us some time, and one of their suggestions was, you know, we have the same fabric here, but you can of course intermix those. I could put this on the one side and this on the other if we wanted to. I think what I'll go ahead today is I do like having the same kind of pinkish color, so I will go ahead and with right sides together, I'll put a quick pin in, put a nice fresh needle. A size 80-12 is plenty. Good solid cotton fabric, and I'm just going to sew a 1/4 inch seam here, and I'll do the same on this side. We'll just do them all at the same time. And I've got a iron heating up on full linen setting. So let's go do that right now, and we'll just follow that nice arc. Okay, and on our panel, some of the instructions we're going to be using, and some of the instructions I will be showing you modifications, but in fact, let me move this out of the way. I have just the instructions here, so that might be a little bit easier for you. I'll put those aside for the moment as well, and those are just some of the ones I pulled out that seem to work really nicely with this panel. We have other panels too. So, you know, this is a great set. It's beautifully priced, and I love that it's a zippered pouch. So once you use your elastic, you'll be able to put that back in, zipper that pouch back up. I know some of the things I buy in the store, once I open the package, I'm never going to get it back in there. This is not one of those cases. Okay, so once we've sewn that, you see how they go ahead and snip that? We'll do the same. You can just snip some little V's in there, and that's just to provide a little bit of relief for turning. And we'll do that on both of those. And they're having us press our seam to one side. Let me make sure my iron is heating up. I'll quickly snip this. So here, when you get ready to press, I kind of just lift it up. It's always awkward trying to press something curved, but if we kind of lift it up, and I know you probably can't see that, I'll try to do it. I'm not left-handed, but this is my best shot at it. So you can see what I'm doing, trying to lift that up so that I can press that seam over to the side. Okay, that's the end of my left-handed experience right there. For all of you lefties that are so ambidextrous, I envy you. That is so cool. My husband is a lefty and very ambidextrous. I am not that person. Okay, so that's going to be one side of the mask. What I like to do is have interlocking seams. So if I know that seam, and let's define that's the top of the mask, right? That's going to be from the nose down. So if that's going to be the top of my mask, and that seam's pressed that way, this is the top of my mask on this side, I'm going to press this direction. So let's go do that real quick. Then we'll have some interlocking seams. So now we get to choose our elastic. So much fun to choose these beautiful colors. You know, I think elastic, of course, is a personal choice depending on the size of your face. For me, a 6 to 6.5 inch length per side is all you need if you're going to be doing the technique that I'm showing you. If you're going to be following the instructions in here that has the casing, you'll need a much longer length, and you'll kind of have to decide what that is, because you'll need to be able to be looping through this and tying a long enough, you have to have enough to tie a knot, and then you're trimming it away. So that would be your choice to decide what length you want and what style of mask you'll be making. Whether I'm using this size or this style or this style, what I'll be showing you today, if you're I'm like 5'3", 6 to 6.5 inch works great for women, about 7, a little bit longer maybe for men, 7.5, and then for the kiddos, depending on how little your little one is, you know, maybe around 5 inches, but again, it's going to depend on your child's face. So we have the top of our mask, and now we have these interlocking seams. So we're going to go ahead and pin. We could use wonder clips if we wanted to. If you have pins, by all means use them. If you don't have pins, but you have the clips, either way works. You could be using the mini wonder clips here too as well. These happen to be the larger clips. Whatever you want to do, I'll just go ahead and use these, but the wonder clips work beautifully. So basically what we're going to do is let's pin this together initially. Parts of it. We're going to also come in here and though we're going to start looping in some elastic. The main thing that we'll do is try to just get the two to be stacked on top of each other, and then we can start talking about a little bit of this elastic. Now, of course, we need to leave an opening so that we'll be able to turn that through and finish the mask. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually start right about in here. I want to come over, and as we approach the corner, you're going to see how I'm going to bring the elastic in and make this a very easy step. I've gone ahead and cut my elastic. I think I'll use the beautiful periwinkle. It's one of my favorite colors. Of course, make sure your lengths are the same. I always like to double check that. Oh, I'm going to trim that one just a touch. I think I got those lopsided. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. You're going to definitely reinforce your in the corners where the elastic is, where the most tension will occur. So let's just get started. 1/4 inch seam allowance again. Okay, about in here, go ahead and stop. We're going to roll this back, and we're going to put our elastic in at about a 45-degree angle, and I like to have a little bit of it poking out, so I know I absolutely have that. back up over top of it a couple times, stopping there. Now, I want to keep this nice and flat, and I'm going to arc around it just like this and be coming out that corner again, so I know that I have it. And let's stop again and let's put our elastic in. Okay, how fast was that? All right, now we know we've got some of the elastic that's poking out of our corners. We'll go ahead and you can trim that away with scissors, a rotary cutter. Just kind of reducing the bulk in the corners. And let's go ahead and turn that through. Now, if you're worried about any kind of shrinkage, go ahead and pre-wash your panel before you even start using it. Now, by the way, if you really want to grow your face mask panel, you can, of course, be using all these beautiful cottons. These are Moda solids. We have so many in stock. I think I've got a couple here, too. That way, this could be on the back, and now you have twice as many panels for the front. So you can definitely, as I'm doing here, one of the more like fashion styles for the front and the back, or to grow it, just simply put a beautiful Moda solid in a coordinating color on the quote back, and now you have twice as many for the front. Okay, so we can kind of pull our straps to get that going and smooth, but I also love to use my point turner to get that completely out. Trim off some threads here. Be careful with your elastic with direct contact with the iron. The beautiful stretchy characteristic of this elastic and just the beautiful sheen, we don't want to get that in direct contact with the iron, so if you can try to avoid that, that is always desirable. Let's see, where's my opening? I want to smooth that out just a little bit more with my point turner. If you're just seeing this video and you're like, who is Shabby Fabrics? We are an online, normally quilting and DIY company. And of course, during this pandemic, we've been asked, please do videos on how to do these face mask panels. Please do videos on what we're all living through right now. So that's why we're bringing you this kind of content. So go ahead and give this a good press. And where the opening is, gosh, I can't even see that. It naturally just wants to close up. Where is my opening here? There it is. It just wants to close. Well, as you can see, when you kind of pull that side, it just wants to fold in naturally where it would go. So let's go ahead and go with that. We'll press everything out nice and smooth. Okay, so let's go over to the machine. We will not only be closing our opening, but it's just a nice decorative stitch, so pick some thread you like to see, and we will just sew the it doesn't really matter, 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch, whatever you want to do here. Okay, so I want to show you, I'm going to show you what the mask looks like on me without this pleat. And the pleat is not part of the pattern. It's something that I figured out. I'll take my glasses off. It's this pleat right here, but I want to show you what this looks like without the pleat. It's very airy, where I feel like it's not really like on my face very comfortably. It doesn't feel secure to me. So there's lots of gapping, especially right here, but you can decide if you like that more airy, less fitting look, or if you like right here. So if you're going to go ahead and add the pleat, all you'll do is I simply, oh, I guess that's about 3/8 of an inch. You could really do it anything, however you want. Now I like to use my clover pins, my clover flower pins, to kind of press that. You could use a wonder clip as well. The advantage of using this pin, I don't have to take it out. With a wonder clip, I have to remove it as I'm approaching. Now if that's folded down, do the same here. And then it just seems like it's going to fit me better. So that's just something I wanted to mention to you too, is I know that the instructions don't mention the tuck, but I really like it. So I wanted to certainly pass that on as an option for you. And I'm going to go over this a couple times because there's going to be tension here on my mask. Okay, and on this one, okay, so I'll try the same mask on so you can see how it fits differently if you add the tuck. Okay, let me move that out of the way. All right, so with the tuck. I like it because it has that less of that gap, and it feels like it just kind of fits my face a little bit better. So even if you wear glasses, it's like out of the way. So it just fits me better. So that's an option for you. Okay, the rectangle version. So you have the size that can work for an adult. It could definitely be big enough for a guy. I guess these are kind of more, some of these are definitely more on the female oriented, but you can also cut them down for the kids. The size I like for the adults are the 6x9. So I went ahead and cut that to the 6x9 for both of those. Now again, if you want to stretch that, go ahead and use our beautiful Motabella solids for a solid cotton backing, and then you'll have twice as many panels for the front. For the kiddos, I know that it kind of depends on your child's face. So there's such a large range from toddlers to, you know, maybe kids 7, 8, and 9 that it's difficult to know what size to cut these to. So you'll kind of have to finesse that depending on how old your kids are. So we're going to go ahead, right sides together. This one is really the same thing with the elastic in the corner. We'll start with a 1/4 inch seam allowance as we approach that corner. Actually, I'm going to start over on this side. Let's start on this side because that, of course, elastic is going to be on those two short sides. Again, for a female, I'm again 5'3", about 6 to 6.5 inches, maybe 7 inches. We don't want to get it too loose, and then the mask is not really on our face. So you have to find the size that works best for you. So we'll head over to the machine and we'll get started. Okay, so let's start on this side. If you need to pin, go ahead, but I'm just going to hold it steady. I'll just lift that up. I've got a beautiful pink. I like this color. This is from the pastel set, of course. And again, I like to have a little bit of that poking out. We're arcing over to this side, and don't worry, there's going to be a little bit of a, once we get closer, we'll kind of scoot this in. You can even stretch that just a touch. We don't want to have any tuck yet. We will be adding pleats, but for now, I'm just going to pinch that right there. We're going to leave an opening down here. Go ahead and cut that, and we'll start again. And just like we saw with the other one, it doesn't need to be a huge opening, a couple inches. Reinforce. Try to keep it flat so we're not twisting. So just like our other panel, let's go ahead and clip those corners. We'll turn it through. Let's use our point turner again to get those points all the way out. If you do any kind of anything where you're turning things through, this is a maker's friend to be able to have that. Now again, just like before, tuck those two raw edges in a quarter and give that a press. And we'll add some pleats. Let's flip this over so you can see. I should actually show you what the original instruction has, and it has you making ties. Ties are not easy to make. Even if you were to buy double fold bias tape, it's expensive. And hey, this is really fun to be able to work with elastic. It's nice and beautiful and stretchy. The method they have you here doing is using 4 ties, each 18 inches long, 16 inches for kids, basically putting them on the 4 corners and kind of tying it behind your head versus looping it behind your ear. Of course, this is your panel. You do whatever you want. I'm just showing you an option that I think is a lot simpler and uses less elastic, and I know making ties is a lot of effort. We're at the stage now where we can decide how many pleats. I've done masks before that have 2 pleats, some have 1 pleat. They're showing 1, 2, 3 pleats. I didn't, as you can see here, we basically have 1, 2, and 3, and it expands out. So it's not going to be quite that airy as they're showing. So let's just, the technique though that I've learned about pleating is don't pleat one side and then the other. If you have this, and I'll try to get my head out of the way, and I'm going to get my flower head pins ready because that's what I'm going to be using. Those are my friend, those are your friend. So if we want to, one measurement I will reference is they say put 3 half-inch pleats with pleats folded toward the bottom of the mask. They do mention that on each side of mask, pleat 3 half-inch pleats with pleat toward the bottom of the mask. Let's try that, see if we can do that. Pleat them both at the same time. So we're going to just kind of pop that, just like that. So you could try to take that to the iron, or go ahead with your flower head pin on this side and pin it, and then on this side we're going to pin it. When I first was starting to make masks at the beginning of COVID, I'd try to pleat one side and then pleat the other, and they were never even. So it ended up a little bit cattywampus. So I found after making so many masks that this seemed to work a little bit better for me. So I'll pleat that one more time at the same time, kind of finger pressing it. Again, I love to have the flower head pin, and it's outside of the track where I'll be sewing, so I don't have to remove my pins. Boy, I'm having a hard time grabbing that one today, that particular. I'm going to grab one more. All right, they want us to do 3. Boy, even that is going to be tricky, isn't it? If you get to that stage, you're like, well, that didn't work. Well, it's time to probably unpin or start. Maybe I just went a little bit too robust with that second pin. Let's try this. Here's the other thing. When I first started making masks, I just did 2 pleats. People were thrilled. So if you find it difficult, in fact, let's just do the 2 pleats real quick instead of the 3. It's still going to expand out. Let's just do this. It's our mask, right? We can, as long as we're wearing it, it doesn't, I don't think it really matters whether you have 2 pleats or 3. Let's go for that. Let's do this. This one seems to be a little bit more natural. All right, just like before, I am going to not only be closing the opening that I see right here. Let me put a little wonder clip there just to remind me where that opening is. But we're also just going to be going over those pleats. I would recommend on the rectangle mask going around that 2 times to secure everything, because right here for sure there's tension as the mask, you know, the fabric expands. So let's go ahead and sew that. Okay, but our mask is secure. I like that. I like knowing that I can throw it right in the washer. You don't have to baby this. And, you know, we're good to go. We can wear them again and again. You might need to press them out as they're cotton fabric, so they're naturally going to get a little wrinkly in the dryer, but they're built to last. All right, let's check this out. Okay. That's how this looks. Super cute. And hey, today I feel like, you know, I can wear it like this and wear it, maybe have strawberries, or I can have flowers depending on my mood of the day. So that's the fun part about making them reversible. So as you can see, hey, if we're going to be having to wear a face mask, let's make the most of it, have fun with some really pretty fabric, and I guarantee you're going to get some compliments from people just noticing the extra effort that you've put toward, you know, making your mask look beautiful. So thank you so much. If you haven't already subscribed, be sure to do that. You don't want to miss out on any of our future videos. I'll see you soon.